Hello, hello, good afternoon. How's everyone doing? I'm currently trying to wrangle my web browser yet again to send out updates that the stream is live. I couldn't get it done in time, so now I'll just keep poking at it until it lets me do the thing, but we need to start drawing. I see someone new, first time chat, came into Twitch. Original name Prime, hello, if you're still here. Alright. The goal is to get the next 5 pages lined as quickly as humanly possible. I also ate my lunch like super fast. So let's get these guys set up. Lower the opacity of the sketch. Go to our line work layer. Out of black ink. Actually, let's also lower the opacity of those. I've tried turning off the dialogue other times, but then I realized that I need to actually like see what they're saying in order to get the facial expressions right, or to like remind me of what facial expressions I wanted to use. So we're just gonna make it super small to get it out of the way. Not small, but light. If I sound tired, it's because I've already done like 2.5 hours of coloring today for Sharpen Rabbit, so I'm starting off with my shoulder debuffed. Okay. Are we ready to go on the line work layer? Yes. Awesome. I don't trust myself to remember how to draw their uniforms and stuff, so we're gonna set things up so that you can see everything. So let's start with that. Uniforms. Open those up. Oh good, my internet's working. And good. We did our YouTube post. I need to do my Blue Sky post. Cool. In order to do that, I need to get a little screenshot of the pages. we are almost done doing updates, and then I can get to drawing. Can't see the chat for a second, so if anyone's saying anything, wait. Okay. Let's just do that. Try to make it one post. Make sure it's going to the right live stream. That is not the right live stream. This mistake. Is it a row? I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it alone. Alright. Hey, Bird Bath. Sera stream jump scare on Discord. Any. Oh my goatness. Oh, you're over on Twitch? Are you there gathering your points? Hope you're having a good day so far, Bird Bath. Oh, okay. Oh, for goodness sake. I need to make a nicer thumbnail for the live stream. Well, let's let that go for now. I'm stashing them away like a squirrel. Good job. I'm proud of you. That is exactly how cult members ought to behave. Collect all of the points. I want to split it so that it's fine. See, I had him. Yeah, I had him dressed in just the uniform. Right, and I need Carbon's reference. There she is. Now, finally, I'm going to set up my flipped canvases so that we can ensure we're making good art from good art from the get-go. Not me not being able to talk while I'm doing things. Shit, we did 25, okay, 26. Control L, flip over, print size. Boop, boop, boop. Alright, on page 22, I'll make this a little bit bigger. I'll bring this to 100%, -2 to 80 because print size is roughly 40%, so I look at it at double the size and I draw it at double the size. That way I don't get bogged down into the minutiae of details that nobody will ever see. If it looks good at 80%, it'll look good at 40%, and that's all we care about. Alrighty. Got our brush. We got our references. Now, how do I want to do this, right? Because we've got 5 pages. And we're all on. Sera, you should make a thumbnail like you as a shepherd with a flock of sheep and 1 goat. That is such a good idea. Oh my god. Hold on. I'm gonna write that down. I want. Right. I'm gonna write this down. YouTube live stream thumbnail. It's gonna be like Bo Peep. That's me. And I got Peep. Flop, 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 flop. And then there's just this like one goat. Right. Your 5-minute drawing adventure go. Johnny's Cave. A big hi over on YouTube. What's up? How you doing? Birdbath here was giving me an idea for the YouTube thumbnail for the live stream. Because there's an ongoing joke that we're a cult. I am the cult leader, and all of you are my flock of independently thinking sheep. And Birdbath is the only goat that just joined the flock. I don't make the rules. Alright, I'll just save this to my main art folder. All caps, YouTube, for live streams idea. Save. I just fill the titles of my files with a bunch of keywords so that I can search for them easily. Okay. That little warm-up idea aside, let me really quickly go through my checklist, and in doing that, I will, in updating that, I will feel better knowing that it is up to date. Alright, so I did my YouTube community post, did my Blue Sky post, did my Discord announcement, so all those things are done. Check. Oops. Alright, so bear with me here. I need to give myself the validation that I'm getting all this stuff done. And now we are working on line work. Cool. That's good to go. We're going to scoot that to the side. Gonna make sure OBS is nice and big heck where I can see it. Right? That's right there at the corner of my eye. If the chat moves, I should notice it. I hope. Righto. Right. The most efficient way to do this line work is to have a single brain task going at the same time. That means not switching between tools or switching between windows, trying to maximize the amount of time I'm in a single window panel working. So, by virtue of being the first person to show up on this page, I'm going to do nothing but to draw carbon, right? And then when she's all done, I will close her reference image, and then we will focus on Thaddeus. And then when Thaddeus is all done, we'll focus on Felix. That way, I'm focusing on one character at a time, and just getting those things done. So let's try that out. Let's try that out and see if I can finish 5 pages in 3 hours. Today is a focus day. So Not going to be talking as much unless people are chatting in chat. I mean, unless you showed up to, like, hear me talk about something. That's one of the things that I realize is a weakness when it comes to my live streaming, because I don't really have things to talk about. At least not off the top of my head. Mostly because I come from a place of not sharing what I do with strangers online. But I feel like I could, I don't know, jabber about something. About like ideas and projects and things that I'm playing around with. Like, I've been editing my bonus comics script for Patreon, and it has been a ever-loving nightmare of trying to learn and apply what I learn all in one go. Because I've been studying something called the story grid, and it is uber useful if you ever want to like plot things for a story, or rather evaluate your story to see if it's working or not, you know? And something in their teaching finally made something click for me. Because there's this thing when you're writing conflict. A good conflict has to be a crisis. Now, what is a crisis? A crisis is having to choose between two irreparably good things, like uncomparably good things, where if you choose one, you sacrifice the other, or you have to choose the lesser of two evils. And, like, theoretically, that shouldn't be hard to do, but in the abstract, I could never, like, wrap my mind around how to force my characters into that kind of, like, dilemma, you know? I wasn't good at putting my characters into dilemmas where, like, you know, they're doomed if they do, doomed if they don't thing, right? Creating stakes was really hard. But now, I have a very, very, very easy way to determine if my character has stakes. Pause. Sarah, as an artist, when you're trying to do your job, how you control your destruction thoughts? I assume you mean destructive thoughts? I realize where my destructive thoughts come from, right? So, for me, specifically, destructive thoughts are anything that slow you down, right? Anything that makes you believe that, you know, you're not going to succeed at what you do and everything. And try to figure out, that is the wrong tool. Try to figure out where that thought is, like, coming from. Where is it really coming from? Is it coming from a fear of what people will think of what I'm drawing? Is it coming from a fear of, like, it's not going to be good enough for my own tastes? And, like, a lot of these destructive thoughts kind of keep you from doing the thing itself. And if it really is stopping you from doing the thing, then oops. I suppose that's the time to, like, journal and evaluate and really ask yourself, what's the friction here? You know? Because it's not always possible to just muscle your way through what's effectively an emotional dilemma. And sometimes you need an outside person, someone to judge from the outside and give you a dose of reality, right? My destructive thoughts normally end up having me overload myself with work, thinking that if I do more, I'll like have more success. But in reality, all that ever does is have more burnout. And the hardest thing in the world is to kind of like double down on the things you enjoy doing. Double down on yourself, right? Double down on what you believe gives you and your work value. And by work, I mean like your creative work, right? Because creative work is expression. Also depends on what kind of destructive thoughts, like what is the nature of them? What are these destructive thoughts saying exactly? So, I don't know. I wouldn't say I managed to control my destructive thoughts, but I do try to address them because they're there for a reason, you know? You don't just think destructive thoughts because, oh my gosh, you love them destructive thoughts, they're so helpful. No, they usually come from like some point of anxiety. And, you know, addressing the root of what's causing that anxiety is the only way to mitigate those destructive thoughts. It's hard to speak in general terms, but I feel for artists and creators, our greatest fear and our greatest hope are the same thing, and that's to be seen. Like, to be really seen. Not just seen, but understood. As we are, with what we believe, and who we are. And that is the scariest shit in the world. Because, as social creatures, just as much as we want to be seen and accepted by others, just as much we don't want to be rejected. And that is the risk we take, that is the dilemma we face every time we try to do something. And the dilemma gets harder to deal with the more we try to do something that our community may not like or may not accept because it's new, because it's weird, because it doesn't quite follow the norm. And that shit is scary because any kind of rejection from a community can feel like death. Right? That's just instinct. It neatly dovetails into what I was talking about earlier about giving characters dilemmas, right? Consider an artist or a creator as the main character of your story. Your greatest dilemma is, how do I make art that helps me connect to people without being rejected by everyone, right? And like most dilemmas, the solution to it is going to be complex, where you will always find people who will like what you make, right? And you will always find people who, no matter what you do, they're going to hate what you make for whatever obscure reason of their own, through no fault of yours. They will just not like it, right? And finding peace with that is hard the further away from the norm you go. And it's very dependent on like the society you live in and stuff like that. So, yep, dilemma. every decision we make, every like actual watershed, life-changing decisions we make carry risk. Otherwise they wouldn't be decisions. They'd just be day-to-day life. Sarah, do you do daily warm-ups for achieving flow in art? No. Not anymore. I don't think I ever did. I don't see the need for a warm-up. I'm not doing a sport. I would say, if you're working on a project, a good mental warm-up would be to, you know, review what you're trying to accomplish, look at your inspirations. I would, you know, go back and reread some of my past pages to understand where I am in the story, to get the vibe down. So, like, that's one mental warm-up where you're priming your brain. As for a physical warm-up, because I have been drawing every day since I was 10 years old, effectively, I don't need to warm up to draw. I just need to start drawing. But if it's still new to you, if drawing is still a new habit, then I would warm up by drawing something small that I really, really, really enjoy. Something that's just gonna make me super happy. That I'm just like, yeah, this is a thing that I wanna do. I wanna do it right now, and I'm gonna do it, right? Something that like fills your cup and like gets you excited. Sometimes the warm-up could just be like starting on your main project but going super slowly, right? But yeah, as for me, I don't do warm-ups. Like, when you guys see me start the stream, sometimes I'm coming to this computer straight from my writing laptop, having not drawn anything, and being like, alright guys, here's the pages we're doing today, and I just start. I'm very motivated to do that, so I believe drawing warm-ups, if you enjoy them, do them. If you don't, just get busy with your main project. Draw something. Draw anything. Anything at all to, even if it's like a page full of scribbles, just to like literally warm up your wrist. You could do that, right? Everyone's different. So I'm not gonna say don't do any warm-ups. I'm gonna say try it. If you've never tried it before, try it. Try it, see, evaluate, and then move on. If you evaluate that warm-ups are not useful to you, don't do them. Ain't nobody forcing. Is it necessary to do warm-ups? Nothing is necessary in this world except food, water, and shelter. And human bonds. So I wouldn't say warm-ups are necessary. I say they're a useful tool if you have resistance to drawing. If it's a mental resistance, physical resistance, you know. It's an exercise, you know? A warm-up is an exercise you do before you do the main activity. So like if you're gonna lift weights, you warm up by running for 10 minutes so that your body is physically warm. For artists, you could just do a page full of like scribbles and loops, right? You could just practice drawing lines and figure eights, and it'll warm up your wrist, right? Yeah. Like I said, I don't do them because I have drawn for so heckin' long that I just dive straight into my thing. Anyway, what was I talking about? Let's see. How bad do you need to quell the urge to draw your enemies? Birdbath, again, weird question, because that urge is so non-existent in me that there's nothing to quell. Also, I have no enemies. What are you talking about? Are you alright, Birdbath? Okay. Is everything okay? Have you not seen the memes? Bubba, the only memes I know about are the memes that my friends send me. I do not scroll on social media. I don't really browse the internet. I mostly listen to YouTube videos and draw and write. So if anyone ever asks me, have you not seen the memes? The answer is no. It's a very rare occasion I can be like the Captain America gif where it's like, I understood that reference. Alright, still on Carbon. Alright, last panel for Carbon. At what phase in your life you decided to become an artist? What is your family response? I decided I was gonna do art since I could pick up a pencil. So, like, there are pictures of me at the age of, like, 2, scribbling away at stuff. I started writing things at the age of 8, and then drawing some more, and then drawing even more. I thought I was gonna minor in art, but then I realized that, like, you could actually get a job as an artist. And when I decided to do art in college, the overwhelming reaction from everybody in my life was like, it's about time. Like, what were you waiting for? So, like, my family didn't care. Like, my parents were just like, you do what you want to do. You just, try to be successful in it. I need to emphasize how much of, like, a bit of an anomaly I am in my family. Because apart from my Nana, right, my mom's dad, who passed away when I was 16, he was an artist in India. He was a professional artist. And at the time, it was very difficult for him to, like, get work. And so my mom, who also wanted to be an artist, she didn't get to, like, study for that because her dad told her that it wasn't practical. It wouldn't get her money, so she got a degree in accounting. And so I guess, like, because of that, my family is probably more amenable to me being an artist, because we have a bit of that from my mom's side. But also, like, I don't know. Growing up, I was kind of free to explore whatever I wanted to without much resistance. I was, like, a really good kid. I never rebelled, I never caused any problems, and therefore I could pretty much do what I wanted so long as I got good grades, and I got good grades. I got lucky. I got lucky. But it was very sort of self-driven, you know? It was never rejected out of hand, but it was never, like, exuberantly encouraged either. It was just sort of like, oh, you're gonna do art? Yeah, that you do art all the time. We've seen you do art your entire life. That makes sense. It's just sort of like, oh, I see. Yeah. Your dad scolded you? Yeah. Yeah, it's like, so I mean, doing art as a hobby when I was a teenager, it wasn't encouraged, but it wasn't like rejected either, but it was definitely treated as a hobby. Like, oh, my dad, whenever he needed me and I happened to be like, chilling out, taking a break, drawing, he'd be like, oh, you're not doing anything, right? Come here, I need you for something. And I'd be like, but I'm drawing. And so there's always that sense of art being devalued until it makes you money. Like the moment it starts to make money, it's just like, oh, this does have value. Completely ignoring the intrinsic value of stories and music. And like, what do you think people who make films study to do? Like all this creative shit that people don't value until it makes money. And the practice that goes into it. It's like, I'm sorry, do you enjoy any art at all? Do you watch any movies? Do you listen to any music? Right? Do you like any cartoons? And it's the people who like yeah, that is something that I'm sorry has happened to you. I've been there. Like when I was younger, it was very much sort of like, oh, this is just a fun hobby. It's not anything. And only when I got older and realized that I could make a career out of it and there was like a clear path, then it's just like, oh, this actually has value now. And that sort of thinking it's very annoying to to deal with, but it is a side effect of the society we live in where everything is commodified. And, you know, if you're not able to earn what society deems important, which our society deems money is important, if your activity does not, like, if the activity you have doesn't give you more of what society deems valuable, then society will naturally deem it to be, not useful. And that is a very troubling thing when art and communication and all of this stuff is so intrinsic to humans, and it sucks when people don't acknowledge that. And growing up in that kind of environment can make you devalue yourself and your creative instincts. And I want to say that those things have value. They will always have value. And what you have to say is important, and the world needs to hear it. The world needs your art, right? It needs whatever's inside of you to come out. And you do it at your own time, you do it however you can. And you do it whether, like, you have the choice. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm going to force you to do art. But I do want to open the door and encourage anyone who hesitates to make something creative to, like, don't let other people claim that it's useless when it's not. I've always been very stubborn about my art. I've always been when I was younger, I would get angry really easily. And because art was so precious to me, it was like the one thing that was my own, that like came from inside and was able to get out. So like, yeah, I come from a really argumentative position of just like, fight me sort of thing. Everyone has that kind of negative impact that art doesn't make money. Yeah, like as if that's the be all end all of art, right? Now that's like the primary dilemma Like, oh, you're an artist. Does that make any money? Is there money in that? And it's just unfortunately what our society focuses on. There's a growing disdain for expertise, and at least in America, there's this, like, anti-intellectual movement that is going to cause a brain drain in this country. Where faster and faster, because all the AI companies kind of like boosted from here, of devaluing human creativity, from like the noisiest supporters of the keyboard monkeys, the prompt generators, the prompt engineers, who think they can replace human creativity with a machine. And that, other humans are gonna be like, ah, yes, delicious. I got distracted. I think, as much as I complain, I try to, like, make fun of the people who put down art. Because I'm just like, you must be very sad. Like, it's like the people who are, like, really aggressively homophobic, and that's because they're usually having, like, identity issues and stuff with themselves, and like, their own sexual, like, they lash out because they project, and it's mostly because they're scared. And it goes back to the fact that creating art is scary. Being genuine and open and honest and expressive is scary, and it feels like a threat to people who don't have the courage to do that in their own life, who have been told, a bunch of negative things, and then they don't have confidence in themselves to, like, be willing to express themselves and fail, because it's friggin' scary. I can tell you, I have a constant anxiety that my stories are going to crash and burn, and I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and no one's gonna care about it. And you know what? That doesn't stop me from making the art. It doesn't stop me from getting up and working on my thing, because I have to believe that something's gotta give eventually. Like, I have to believe that hard work and being sincere in your work pays off in some way. It may not pay off monetarily, but it will pay off in the value of, like, human connections I've made, the friends I've made by streaming and making my art and creating my comics are infinitely more valuable than the amount of money my comics have made me so far. And, that's something you can't really put a price on. Because I know that if I stopped making comics tomorrow, my friends would not disown me. Right? If I decided to go in a completely different direction, they would not abandon me. Right? But it was my art that let me meet them in the first place. So, I don't believe any effort is ever truly fruitless. As pessimistic as I am, as much as I constantly assume that nothing good will happen until it actually happens in front of my face, I am consistently proven wrong time and time again. Like, my pessimism is proven wrong time and time again because I am not that smart, and all I do is work hard because I can't help but create these stories. And I have just enough support in my life to be like, there are people who want to read these stories. And at the very least, I can make it for them specifically. Yeah. I would disown you? Well, screw you, Birdbath! This is why you're the only goat amongst the flock of sheep. Going around with your little horns, I bet you enjoy headbutting all the other sheep. And the only reason they don't complain is they're too fluffy to feel it. Disown me, will you, Birdbath? I will have you excommunicated from the cult. Don't use a crying emoji on me. You're not the victim here. You started this. You threw the first punch, and now you get to find out. Bubba. Bubba. Don't start fights you can't finish. Don't do it. If you're not ready to throw hands, don't talk shit. You gotta walk your talk. There, Birdpath. I wouldn't excommunicate you. I just put you in timeout for a while. Janara Johnny, what is your thoughts on AI? So, let's start with definitions, shall we? AI, or artificial intelligence, as people generally believe it in the sci-fi context, does not exist. That is to say, general AI, general artificial intelligence, does not exist because it is not intelligent. Now, machine learning, large language models, algorithms are a form of AI, but they're not intelligent, they're programmed, right? So algorithms that feed you your TikTok feed, or the algorithms that determine the behavior of an NPC in a video game, are useful forms of artificial intelligence, right? AI algorithms that, because like algorithms are AI. They're processes that like learn from inputs and then affect an output, right? An algorithm iterates and stuff like that. Certain AI are deeply useful. I'm sure algorithms used in like medicine and stuff to diagnose things, or I'm trying to think of other, like the video game example, right? The AI, like gamers talk about the AI of NPCs and how smart or dumb they can be, right? The AI that you play chess against when you play against a computer. AI that colorizes my backgrounds, right? The AI that can help remove a figure from a background in a Photoshop image. Deeply useful AI. The AI everyone has a problem with in the artist community is generative AI, or generative large language. Well, large language models are the chat ones. Generative artificial intelligence are the image ones, right? So let's say if I talk about like ChatGPT and stuff, those are large language models. I'm not going to call them AI, even though they're a type of artificial intelligence. Generative artificial intelligence are like, they are a mulching machine of noise, where each pixel of noise has a tag connected to a word that was designed by humans and stuck into a black box, and all of the inputs for generative AI en masse have been stolen. And the thing about AI, artificial intelligence, is that it is not intelligent. Intelligence means you can come up with an original thought. These algorithms, these large language models, cannot do that. And anyone who says that they can is lying to you. We do not have that technology. Now, if they cannot come up with an original thought, and all of their thoughts are stolen, everything they output is also stolen, I don't care how mixed up it is. It is deeply unethical, and it is a legal liability to use. And on top of that, I'm just gonna say it, generative AI is shit at art. It'll look beautifully rendered, but it will have mistakes that anybody who is that skilled to create that rendered art, they would never make those mistakes. It is not creative. You can't edit shit on it. The lighting, atrocious, right? No consistency. Generative art is shit when you really get down to it. And if it even looks halfway good, it's because it was trained on something somebody made that was incredible. So, do I think do I think AI is the worst thing in the world? No, because artificial intelligence has a billion different forms. Do I think generative AI is useless and just like a slop making machine? Yeah, generative AI is garbage, and the keyboard monkeys and prompt engineers who think they're artists by commissioning it to make stuff are deluding themselves. They're deluding themselves because they don't want to put in the work. They don't want to do the hard work of being mindful enough to be an artist. They're scared. They're scared of failing. They're scared of trying hard and failing at something. They want it easy because there's less risk. Right? In the end, it's fear. It's fear of failure, because if we fail in today's society and we don't earn money, we could end up homeless. And that's the anxiety that our entire society has. Is if we don't make money, we're not going to have a good standard of living. And so anything that doesn't make money gets looked down upon because it becomes a matter of survival. That's my theory anyway, my crazy ass theory. Stress comes from fear. Fear comes from insecurity. Insecurity comes from vulnerabilities. It doesn't understand anatomy, nor humanity, nor morality, especially morality. Yeah, the AI doesn't. I scolded Birdbath earlier, and I feel bad now. It's because Birdbath said they would abandon me. Is Birdbath still in chat? I'm sorry, Birdbath. Yeah. Generative AI doesn't understand anatomy or humanity or morality because it's not intelligent. It's not smart. It doesn't have the ability to come up with a unique thought of its own. It has no originality. Everything these machines have, humans made. Humans brave enough to express themselves through art. And, you know, once the shine wears off, and it will wear off, and this bubble will burst, because human beings can recognize bullshit when they smell it. And the moment someone tries to make, like, a comic or an art book or something out of just generative AI, I'd be like, alright, Bet. Can you make a career out of this? Can you add something valuable to the world? Or will you abandon it and actually make some goddamn art? Pick up a pencil. And, like, I pity them. I do. I pity their fear of wanting to express themselves and only being brave enough to type into a box and have a machine spit something out. I pity their fear of spending years mastering something, not knowing if it's gonna pay off for them. I pity that. Because the time's gonna pass anyway. People are trying to make AI movies, and it looks so uncanny and weird. It does. It does. And, like, I have no doubt it's gonna look better and better, right? Technology will improve, but it will hit a limit unless we somehow unlock general artificial intelligence. I'm telling you, that stuff is not gonna happen with large language models. At least I don't think it is. From my basic ass understanding of technology and, like, human intelligence, the only way a machine is going to have the self-awareness that a human does genuinely, it's I wouldn't even know. It'd be like fucking magic. Or, like, replicating somebody's brain map or in their entire nervous system. But at that point, they'd just be like a clone, which raises other ethical questions. So, yeah, uncanny and weird because it's not made by a human. And it's just like... And then, you know, generative AI feels to me to be like the Ouroboros. It's just a snake eating itself in an endless loop. That's what it is. It's going to eat itself alive because it needs human beings to be put into the machine for the machine to work. And then put human beings out of work. Which is the stupidest thing in the world, because I'm just like, these short-sighted dumbasses want to make product cheaper with AI, so they lay off a bunch of people, and then suddenly a whole bunch of people don't have money, and I'm just like, who the fuck are you gonna sell this to? Like, really? Really? Who? When we're all worried about, like, having food and shelter and shit. Who you're gonna sell? Who are you gonna sell it to? Who has the money? Right? It's like that's like there was some, I forget who said it. Some, like, commentator or somebody online, when faced with the question of, like, well, what if Florida goes underwater because of global warming? And they're like, don't you think people would, like, sell their homes and move it somewhere else? And then the reply was, who would they sell the underwater house to? Ya ding dong. Who's gonna buy the goddamn underwater house? Who's gonna buy all this generative AI stuff after you've fired everybody? Like, do you have brain cells? Do you have 2 brain cells to rub together to create a fire? And the answer is no. Because they can't see past the dollar sign. So the smallest amount of logic that it takes to be like, if we fire everybody and use this AI, and make things super cheap and then sell it at a premium. We're gonna make so much money. And then they forget that there are human beings that need to buy their shit. I lose brain cells thinking about that. Now, all of that said, if there was an ethical AI that used licensed materials, basically get the permission of the artists, I would want to use it. I would want to use it to generate backgrounds. I would want to use it to generate concept art. I would want to use it to give me inspiration and ideas and color palettes and just like, do you know how useful this would be? I would want to use it if it were ethical. And on top of the ethics of the legality, and I saw the meditative breathing. Give me a second, let me get this thought out. Apart from the ethics of stealing art, there is the ethics of how much energy it uses. And if everything becomes generative AI, these large language models, we are going to burn this planet to a crisp. We don't really need it. You're spiraling, take a breather. Okay, Flapu. I'm gonna turn the microphone off and listen to music and focus on drawing for 30 minutes. Where's my timer? Right, that's how I'm gonna answer Flapu's meditative breathing redeem. So let me get my music. I'm gonna turn off my microphone. And I'm gonna do some focus. Alright. The microphone is back on. I'll catch up to chat. But Musk saying that your income source of work will become a hobby in the future? You think I care what that wannabe gamer thinks will happen to art? I make a habit of not listening to insecure men. And His Majesty President Elon Musk's is one of them. Musk says. Technology isn't going to get that far for it to never require a human element. Maybe a century or two in the future. Yeah, at which point it's not my problem. They are in the Efferon find out stage, and I cannot wait. I will have a small little bonfire and marshmallows prepared. Move on from the topic. Do I have to? Such a juicy topic. Okay. Yes. No spiraling. No. I can redeem another grade. No, you don't have to redeem another grade. I'm breathing and I'm still listening to music. That'll help regulate something, I'm sure. got head pats from. Okay. I'm still grumpy. Pompous emo boy. I'm glad people like Thaddeus. He's just a big baby. Just a big burb. That's all. A baby. He's perfect for Caden's father figure. Thank goodness, cause he doesn't believe it. He's just like, I'm going to be the worst influence. Nah. Whoop the snoot. Okay. Are you ready? Ready for... I'll wait till the thingy goes away. Are you ready for your boot? Here it comes. Whoop. That's for you. In order to hydrate, I need to go find my water bottle. It is not here. Gasp in Spanish. I know, I have to go find my water bottle. Hold on, I'll be right back. Refilled my water bottle. I also put some pain relief roll-on lotion stuff onto my shoulder. I took off hoodie, yeah, because it's warm. It's a little bit, it's almost 3 o'clock. The hours between 12 and 5 are the hottest of the day. And right now, March in Florida means that it can be 59 degrees at sunrise and 80 degrees in the afternoon. So, yep. I am suddenly green because I realized it was warm. I also had to take off the hoodie to get to my shoulder for the lotion. I have like this menthol pain relief thing, like a roll-on. What I need to buy is Tiger Balm. I need to get some Tiger Balm, and that'll help. It feels like this is the kind of pain you can't stretch away. You just have to like... I just have to like stop using my arm. That's not gonna happen. Biofreeze? Yeah! Yeah. I got a little... My mom left me a biofreeze thingy last time they were here. I got to keep it. Good job. You're doing great. Thank It is 4. And I should take a short rest. We did manage to get 3.5 pages done, so an hour per page to actually draw it is par for the course. But we're almost done with this chapter, so that's good. I need to start writing and nailing down the next chapter. Oh boy. I can do it. It'll be fine. Okay, yeah. Alright, well, that's it for streaming for today. As always, thank you for giving me company. If you're over on Twitch, be sure to follow so that you don't miss another live stream. Same thing over on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the bell so that YouTube tells you when I go live. Be sure to like the live stream, maybe comment on it. Feed the algorithmic beast. Check all the descriptions for the links to this comic and many others that I've finished. If you want access to socials and comics over on Twitch, you can do !comic or !social and get all the links that way, as well as the little bot will tell you everything you wish to know. Tomorrow's my day off. I will be back to streaming on Friday, so I'll see you guys then. Everyone take care. Bye-bye.